When I was incoming freshman coming to Liberty University, we had to arrive early because I was on the indoor women's team. On my hall, there's a couple other of my teammates, and then one other girl on the far end of the hall, and her name was Meredith Andrews. And we were talking about what we like, what we're interested in, and I said, well, I would like to marry a black guy who wants to be a pastor who can sing. And she goes, well, you should meet Jonathan Willis.
I don't think Meredith ever told me about you, but I do remember going out of the movies 10 and just seeing this girl on crutches because she had torn her ACL and MCL. She was so pretty, and I was like, whoa.
The next time I saw him was at a soccer game, and we chatted it up, and then the next time I saw him, he introduced me to this girl and said, this is my best friend, Kristen. And in my head, I was like, oh, I want to be his best friend. And so it kind of went from there. He pursued me for a while, and I was like, no, I'm not really interested. I just want to be your friend.
My best friend.
Yeah, your best friend. I want to take that girl's place. And I did, eventually. I came to Liberty fresh out of surgery, on crutches, and I had to rehab through that first season. I didn't even get on the court to serve, I don't think. I was only on the team for 3 years at Liberty. I was pretty bad. I was really good in high school and club, and then after I tore my ACL, I was just not very good. I think I had to relearn some mechanic stuff, and I just wasn't able to piece it together. So when I played on Liberty's team, I did not do very well. So I was ready to give that up right when he started to really get into it.
I fell in love with coaching. It was an amazing experience, and it was a huge blessing, that's for sure.
So he coached at Brookville High School for a season, and then the next year you volunteered as an assistant at Liberty. And then he got a job as the head coach at Randolph College. I said, well, I'll help you because I can, I've got the time. And eventually became the main assistant. Then we had Asher, and we started playing sand volleyball that summer. And that's when I fell in love again. And I didn't like it at first either because I was bad. But when you play sand, it makes you better.
It does.
And we were all kind of learning together, so it was okay that I wasn't great, and I loved it.
I've always wanted to go back to Liberty. I had the opportunity to be the volunteer assistant there in 2006, I believe. Actually, before I left, I said, Coach, I want to leave and go have my own program and have an opportunity to come back and be better and be a better assistant for you. He'd never forgotten that conversation. I've never forgotten that conversation, and it was just great to have the opportunity to get back and coach at that level. We talk about volleyball a lot, but we actually had to put some parameters because we were like, okay, no talking about volleyball at night in bed when it's time to go to sleep.
We can't talk volleyball in bed.
You can't talk about volleyball at all, and if you're gonna question my decision making, these are the times when you can bring those up because
midnight's not a good idea.
Midnight's not a good idea, and date night, we shouldn't talk about volleyball, and it's just finding the right moments because for me, with the way it was going for so long, like I needed support. I needed a wife, and that's the biggest. That was one of the biggest hardships with coaching with your spouse, and I have to be careful of the exact same thing now as I am her assistant with Beach. Is sometimes you forget that you're a spouse and you're always the assistant, or vice versa, you're trying to be an assistant by being a spouse, and that's not fair, and it's not healthy.
And once I figured that out, hey, there is a time and a place for that, but the time is not right after the match. I think we worked it out a lot better, and we worked together a lot better, and it was a lot less stressful. Our lives are about volleyball, but they're not about volleyball. Especially the last couple of years, I was really able to take that side of it and be a constant reminder to fix our eyes on Jesus, because that's hard to do. And it's hard to do when when you feel like, as a head coach, I should be winning, but I'm not. But Jesus wants me here, so what am I here to do?
The things about your athletes, they see you, the good, the bad, the ugly. They know who you really are. It was great accountability to make sure my heart was right all the time. The coach-athlete relationship,
It's unique.
it is very unique. I still remember all of my coaches I've ever had, and my coach and how he had a huge impact in my life. I'll never forget what his wife and his family did for me, and they took me in for a little while, and he showed the love of Christ in those tough moments, and that stuck with me. And I wanted to model that for my athletes.